Hello. Today we're going to do Module 3, Lesson 10. We're going to use the distributive property as a strategy to multiply and divide. Now remember, distributive property just means that we're going to break it apart. All right. The first thing that I would like to do to get us ready for our lesson is this. I would like us to figure out what is, as a multiple of 8, I would like to figure out what the other part is. So if I give you a whole, here's my, goodness. Okay, find my things again. Right here. And here's my part. So here's my number bond, okay? What if I have 56 here and I have 24 here? What's my part? Well, this is a multiple of 8. I know 56 is a multiple of 8. I know 56, in order to get that, it's going to be 8 times 7. I know that 24 is a multiple of 8. I know in order to get 24, I have to do 8 times 3. Okay, so 3 plus what gives me 7? I'm going to need to figure out what 8 times 4 is, right? Because 4 plus 3 is 7. So what is 8 times 4? It's 32. 32. Okay, let's do one more. Okay. Pick my pen. All right, here's our number bond. Now these are multiples of 8. Okay, so what if we do 64 and the part is 40? What's my other part? Okay, now I know 64 is a multiple of 8. What does it take to get to 64? It takes 8 times 8. Okay, well, 8 times what gives me 40? 8 times what? 5, right? Okay, well, 5 plus what gives me 8? 3, right? So if we multiply 8 by 3, what number do we get? 24, right? Now let's just double check. 40 plus 24. Is that 64? 4 and 2 is 6. Sure enough, it checks. Okay. Now, moving on to the application problem. Okay. Now this, I'd like to use the 5 plus something break apart and distributive strategy to solve 6 plus 8. So we want to find out what, not 6 plus 8, 6 times 8. We want to find out what that equals. But I have to use the 5 plus, so 5 plus something, right? Break apart. So that means I'm going to break something apart, and I need to model it with a tape diagram. Do I have to model it with a tape diagram? Yes, I do, because it states that I need to. When it states that you need to, you absolutely do need to. Okay, well, what can I break this apart to? Let me erase some of this. I know I have to have a 5 plus. So how about we'll do the number of the groups. What if I break 6 into a 5? 5 plus what gives me 6? 1. So now I need to multiply them together and make my tape diagram. So what this really means is 5 times 8 plus 1 times 8. So let's make that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is an 8, 4, 5, and here's my 1 times 8. Okay, so right here, I'm going to label this, is my 5 times 8. And right here is my 1 times 8. Okay, and the thing I need to find is the total, which is n. Okay, well, 5 times 8, what would that be? Let me write it over here. Maybe over here. So we have 5 times 8 plus 1 times 8. I'm going to put them in parentheses because these are our groups. 5 times 8 is 40 plus 1 times 8 is 8. 40 plus 8 is 48. Now what I should have done is said 5 times 8. Find my cursor. Where'd it go? Find my mouse. There it is. I should have said 5 times 8 plus 1 times 8 equals n, because that's what we wanted to find down here. The whole total equals n. So then n equals 48. Okay? Now, up we go here. Clear it. Now this time, when we did the 6 times 8, when we broke it apart, which did we find? Which one did we break apart? We broke apart the number of the groups. This is the size of the groups, right? So let's make this as a tape array, as not tape array, just a normal array. Okay, so this is really 6 groups of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. I've got 3 groups of 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many groups of 8 do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Awesome, I have 6 groups of 8. Okay, so this right here is 6 groups of 8. Now, what if, instead of breaking apart the number of the groups, what if I broke apart the size of the groups? So now, I have to have a 5 plus. Remember, I wanted a 5 plus something. So I take 5 out of 8. What's left? 3. Okay, so now let's rewrite this. Okay, we are erasing this. And we're going to rewrite it as 5 plus 3. Because 5 plus 3 is just another way of writing 8. Okay, now that we do that, let's split it up into the size, or the size of the groups. So this group has 3, so this would be the 3s. This would be the 5s, right? Here's our 3s. Here's, oops. Oh, I can move it, even better. And here's our 5s. Now remember that this is times 6. Everything is times 6. See? So what we really have here is a 6 times 5, this group, we're going to put parentheses, plus this group, a 6 times a 3. Okay, now let's solve it. 6 times 5 is 30, plus 6 times 3 is 18, plus, and what does that equal? This all equals n. Remember, we're solving for n. So what does that equal? Okay, we can do this mentally, can't we? Because if we add the 1s, that's 8. We add the 10s, that's 4. It still equals the same thing. It doesn't matter if you take apart the 6 or if you take apart the 8. It doesn't matter. And now let's do it with division. Okay, let's make a number bond here. Okay, let's say that we have 64 divided by 8 in this number bond. Okay, and we have 40 divided by 8 in this number bond. What would go here in this number bond? Well, we know it's going to be divided by 8 because that's the same thing, right? Okay, so let's see here. 64 take away 40. What would that be? Take away 40. Okay, take it away. 2. So this would be 24 divided by 8, because 24 divided by 8 plus 40 divided by 8 is going to be 64 divided by 8, right? Well, let's check it out. Let's do this. 40 divided by, whoops, divided by 8, that chunk, plus this chunk, wait for things to catch up. 24 divided by 8, that chunk is going to equal my total, which is 64 divided by 8. Okay, well, what is 40 divided by 8? 8 times what gives me 40? 5. Plus 24 divided by 8. 8 times what gives me 24? 3, right? So what will 64 divided by 8 be? It's going to be 8. 5 plus 3, is that correct? 8 times 8, is that 64? It sure is. That's right, it checks out. Okay, this is what we're doing today. Good luck with your homework, and we'll see you tomorrow.